Happy Friday, everybody. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk, 101.1 FM, 1230 AM. I'm Chris Burdick. That is Sparky. Give me 1 sec. I got to go shut off my computer because it's yelling at me. Sparky, let them know what they're in for today, my friend.
Oh, we got a busy show. Obviously, with baseball kicking off last night. We'll run through opening day of baseball. We'll talk a little wrestling with our boy Chris Flail. Will join us at 8 o'clock. Plus, there's a 10-year anniversary for our boy Kyle Pittser and the Pittser family over at Dionysus. So he'll stop by at 8:30, talk a little wrestling, preview their celebration tomorrow from noon to 9, I believe. And we've got some Condors tickets if you'd like to go to Wednesday, Wiener Wednesday, hockey, $2 hot dogs.
$2 like hot dogs, I believe, yes.
Wiener Wednesday, we've got your tickets. Just call or text in anytime throughout the show at 661-842-2000.
Apologies there. I knew there was something I forgot to do this morning. It was to shut up my computer before it started yelling at us. But yeah, no, it's going to be a fantastic show today. I hope everybody enjoyed opening day yesterday. The MLB was pretty exciting in day one. We had a lot of really great games. Unfortunately, Sparky's Mariners couldn't pull it off last night. But
that's the type of team I think the Mariners are going to continue to be. It's home runs or bust.
Oh, yeah. And again, that might be a good thing, might be a bad thing. We'll see what happens in the days to come here. But you have Cal Raleigh. You got Julio. I think you guys are fine. I think 1 out of 162 isn't going to kill you. Obviously.
Yeah, I guess we're not going to go undefeated.
Exactly.
Gosh,
unfortunate. Not everybody can go 162-0 like Dodger fans wish they can.
Dodgers look good, man.
They do. They look fantastic. And again, it's to be expected. Look at the roster. Look at what they've built.
Yeah, wouldn't it be more surprising if I said, man, the Dodgers look bad.
What was the final last night? 8-2.
8-2 last time I looked. Yeah, it was ugly.
And let's give the D-backs their flowers as well. This is not a D-backs roster that's just going to get rolled over this season. I think they're going to be pretty competitive for those wild card spots. So again, are the Dodgers going to go 162-0? No, nobody is. But they're most likely going to win 115, 120.
That's enough.
That is plenty.
I mean, after one day of baseball, what was your big any surprises, any things that jumped out at you? Besides, I know the Cardinals came back. That was a hell of a game. I got to watch part of that. I have almost every streaming option I can get that I can afford. And, of course, I couldn't find the Mariners game, but I got to watch the Dodger game. Yay.
Well, Peacock snagged that one up real quick. But the only thing that really stood out to me, outside of some just great baseball, and loved seeing my Phillies win their first game of the season, but
Schwarber was on fire.
Yes, he was. Every other star from the Team USA team, though, was not. We might be on the McAfee show may have hit it straight on the head. We might have a curse on our hands here.
You've been cursed.
Aaron Judge, 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. Gunnar Henderson, 0 for 4 with 3 Ks. Bryce Harper, 0 for 3, I believe, with 2 Ks. Cal Raleigh, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks. We are having some. Paul Skeens got pulled off in the first inning, getting mollywopped by the Mets. The Mets. Now, again, I know I am a massive Mets hater. I realize that.
The Mets are good, dude.
They look fantastic. I hate to say that out loud. But it's still Paul Skeens. It's still probably the favorite to win the NL Cy Young once again. And this guy had a sub-2 ERA. Anybody see the problem here? I don't care if he's playing the Dodgers, the Mets, or the Reds. That shouldn't happen to Paul Skeens in the first inning. There's something going on here. There might be a curse on our hands for the stars of the WBC Team USA team, or they're all just still incredibly shaken up at the fact they didn't win that tournament altogether. I'm just going to go with that. Hopefully they can all shake it off, and we'll see what happens in the weeks to come here as baseball continues. One of the biggest stories to come out of yesterday, though, unfortunately, had nothing to do with the baseball game. And I don't know if you saw this one, my friend, but I wanted to get your thoughts on it anyway. Alec Bohm, the Philadelphia Phillies third baseman, apparently is suing his parents, claiming that his parents allegedly have been siphoning money out of accounts that they have been managing for him in his MLB career. and using that money on themselves. Again, this is all alleged, but Alec is just barely apparently taking control of his own finances. Looked over the paperwork or asked them for the paperwork. He's claiming they refused to give him certain information that he needed to fully understand what was going on with his finances. And if they were siphoning money away, that kind of makes sense. But we're talking about millions upon millions of dollars of this guy's first couple contracts with the Philadelphia Phillies, which he wasn't making a whole ton. He's not Shohei Ohtani. He's got a good payday now. I believe he's getting paid about $10 million in his contract, but they've taken at least 3 from him. And this lawsuit is now asking that not only does Alec receive full control of his financial accounts, all 4 of them that are put into LLCs that are supposed to be used for real estate, investments, stuff for post baseball, set him up for the rest of his life kind of a thing.
Yeah, it's his career, his money.
And apparently mom and dad who live in an RV and travel the country.
Of course they do.
That's exactly what I said when I read that at the end. Of course they do.
I mean, whose bucket list doesn't have that on the list?
No kidding.
Hey, our boy made it.
So the two of you got together, looked at each other and said, man, we really want to tour the country. You had a kid together and said, we have to put that on back order. And then that kid becomes an incredible baseball player, makes it all the way to the major leagues. In fact, is one of the best, or is one of the best National League teams in the entire major league, is making money hand over fist.
It's cash in, baby.
That's exactly what I said. Now, again, this is all alleged and it's all going to come out. The parents are saying through their lawyer. They didn't say it out loud themselves. They said through their lawyer. I want that to be said out loud. That they did nothing wrong. All they were doing was trying to protect their son, do what's best for their son. Yeah, before Alec could actually get control of his accounts, they had already siphoned millions from him. Millions. But the one thing that they're going to get away with here, or the one thing that's going to add to their case, is the fact that they've been paying all of Alec's expenses through their own credit cards, which means all they're going to sit there and say is, well, our son has very expensive tastes. We had to take the money from his account to pay for all of his stuff. I mean, that's the only reason it touched our accounts.
And with them being his parents, I mean, there's going to be some legalities that he's probably not going to be happy with.
No, not at all. But again, I understand why you pass along your finances to somebody more responsible than you, especially if you're focusing on your craft and trying to get to the highest level of it.
There's professionals for that.
Exactly what I was just about to say. Call Messmaker and Petrie. Call the MoneyWise guys. Call anybody else. But I get it. It's mom and dad. I don't know exactly what mom and dad used to do in their professional lives. Maybe one of them was a financer. Who knows? Or a financial advisor. I apologize. But this story just sucks on multiple different levels. And I don't know about you guys who are listening to me right now, but it's a lesson that I learned very early in my life. Money and family don't mix. They don't. It always gets sticky, no matter what. So just don't do it. Don't. Save yourself the grief. If you have the money and you feel like being generous, don't expect it back. Just don't mix the two. It's not worth it. It will not end the way you're hoping.
It's a bit late, man.
It is.
If you're a professional athlete and you're getting paid like this, I mean, you would have thought you would have learned that way early and, got a professional before you even got into the major leagues.
And apparently the accounts that have been made, the 4 LLC accounts, were made back in 2019. And he was told by his parents,
allegedly,
that they took a 10% stake off the top strictly for administrative purposes, but he still had control of all the accounts solely. Yeah, that turned out not to be true. So there's a lot of this that stinks to high heaven. But again, it's a lesson that a young athlete, and we've had a couple now back to back to back, that you have to learn. Like Sparky said, there are professionals for this. So hire a professional. Don't trust mom, dad, uncle, aunt, grandma, grandpa. It's okay. You could trust them,
And that's where
but
your money is actually safer. These days, I mean, 25 years ago, a financial advisor could have done the same thing and said it
right,
was business.
right,
But now with the fiduciary rules and a lot of these advisors that control people's money only make money when they're making you money. So it is a thin line. And like Burdick said, money and family, it rarely works out. But
rarely.
speaking in law, I thought you were for sure bringing up the whole Caleb Williams
Oh,
Iceman trademark, and I'm like, oh, here we
I
go,
was
another
gonna get
one.
into that later on in the show, but I had no intention to bring it up right now. But yeah, that was interesting as well. If you haven't been following Caleb Williams, the quarterback of the Chicago Bears, he's been trying to get a trademark for Iceman, his nickname that his teammates have given him, and he wants to use it for obvious reasons, monetary. But there's already somebody who owns that trademark, and they're not going to let that go. It's just not going to happen. But again, I don't know. Can you break down for me, my friend? I don't have the story in front of me of how
Well,
this all went
Iceman is
down.
if you're an old NBA fan and grew up watching, George Gervin and the Celtics, that when you think Iceman, that's what I immediately think, or I go to Batman.
Yeah.
But when it came to Caleb Williams, he did come out yesterday. His representative came out yesterday, and he said that he's been trying to trademark this since college, and that has been shot down multiple times. He has now filed 4 trademarks: name, logo, even celebration silhouettes,
Yep.
all of this. And George Gervin came out yesterday and said, nope, we already got one. And it's just one of those little nicky knack types things they're going to fight over.
I
I mean, I would meet in the middle, Iceman, and be like, hey,
Well, here's my thought, because it kind of goes hand in hand with the number thing. Now, yes, this is your nickname. I'm not saying give it up, but is there a monetary, deal we can come to here? Can I
exactly.
chalk up a couple million to you and say, hey, let me buy it off you?
Start a foundation, something, a
See, to be honest
nonprofit you
with you,
could throw into.
when Iceman was the trademark, I wasn't expecting George Garvin to be the one to fight for it. I was more expecting Chuck Liddell, to be honest with you. But I mean, there's got to be some sort of deal we can come to here. And if there isn't, then Caleb's just going to have to deal with it. We're going to have to find a new nickname. I know it's been something since he's been in college, but and the NFL fans haven't really run with it with you anyway, so
Right.
who cares?
Wasn't Caleb in some battle a couple years ago too over something else? I want to say that it was something he's done before, not just Iceman. But I'm glad you brought up, because there was a small little thing I wanted to bring up when you brought up the names and the jersey likeness. Now it's in getting into a fight with Madden, where the NFL and Madden and the NFLPA have a agreement that they've had for likeness with the NFL. It's part of the contract that they've always had in their collaboration. Well, it is about to expire, and Madden, the team over at Madden, said they are so far apart that they believe by the next year's Madden, it could go back to what we remember playing is, where you knew the number, you knew the name, but it didn't have the name, it just had the number.
God, we're gonna go. No, it won't go back to that. There's
That's
no
what
way.
they're saying. They are millions and millions of
I
dollars
know,
apart.
I know. But
And the NFLPA said they have no issue of going, there's number 7. We all know what that is. I remember playing Tecmo Bowl and, having the number. We knew what it was.
I have been a Madden player my whole life. I have, and I do not want to go back to that, especially the NCAA days when that was the
Oh,
case
yeah.
was awful. But here's my thing: EA Sports is stupid. They are stupid. As a video game player, if you are a gamer at all, EA, not the smartest company in the world. Really not. They are dumb enough to sit there and believe that they are big enough where they can live on their own as Madden. But here's the thing: they can't. And the minute that they let go of that contract and someone like 2K comes in and says, "Oh,
We'll take it."
Yo, NFL Blitz, let's go. Let's make this again."
Right.
It's done. Madden is buried. The fan base is already on the edge of jumping off because we're fed up with the fact that they don't fix anything. They don't do anything different any year. It's the same game, just regurgitated on with a brand new roster. It's stupid. It's dumb. I haven't actually purchased a Madden game for full price in years because if you just wait a couple months, it drops to about 50 to 60% off because no one buys it.
Yeah, that's what I've always done.
So EA is stupid. They will sit there and say, we don't need the NFL. We could do this on our own.
Yeah, now you're sounding like DirecTV.
Exactly. But trust me, you can't. You don't have the backing anymore. You don't. So they will get a deal done when they realize the minute they say we're done, the NFL is just going to go to 2K or one of these other developers and say, hey, let's go. It's your time. And then they're going to make a game that's even better than Madden. And then we're going to be talking about that.
All they'd have to do is make a couple twerks and people would be like, oh my gosh, this is better than Madden. It's just something new.
If you do anything different, if you give us a street ball mode,
story,
anything different, we're going to love it.
Give us the island.
And they're going to burn EA Sports.
Yeah.
And I promise you, Madden's the only thing outside of FIFA that's keeping it alive. So I promise you, EA, although they believe they can do this, if they do, it would be a dagger to the heart to that entire company. And they would regret it.
Can you imagine the next 2K and it's not EA Sports and it's got Archie on the cover? And that would sell so damn
quickly. So, and you know what? I can see it now. 2K football. The cover, you don't even need to put anybody relevant from right now on it at all. You could put Peyton on there. You could put Tom on there and just make it a Legends version, just like they do with the WWE, and it would sell like hotcakes. But again, unless EA wises up and realizes that, they're going to be dumb enough to walk away from this. And fans would not have it. There's no way. Everybody's already on the edge of never buying this dang game again. They are.
I haven't bought it the last couple years, but it's more of all the updates that they've done is more of the online play.
Right.
And I don't have
and
the
there's
time to
even
put money
then
into
there's
that too.
Not a whole ton they do there.
Exactly.
The vast majority of it now goes to what do they call that? I'm drawing a blank on the name right now, but when you buy the cards and you have to like pay to win, all that type of stuff. Yeah, that's really where all of the gadgets go. You're right. But that doesn't help. That helps you as a company because you're just monetizing it even more.
Yeah, the kids with no jobs that can sit there and play Madden online all day and every day. I mean, I know a couple people that would pay double just for these golden packs and these Hall of Fame packs. And I've seen that in a lot of gamings, but I think you hit it right out of the park because I don't think it is as important as it used to be with that Madden and EA Sports tag anymore.
No. People could care less if it's EA Sports. Honestly, like especially when it comes to Madden, because the fan base is so fed up and so just done with this that we're all begging you do drop the ball. If I'm being honest,
I remember how people were pumped when the college games came back.
Exactly, and don't get me wrong, like that's fun, and we're gonna lose that too because unfortunately that is EA, but it's something that company genuinely believes they can do. They believe they can make it without an NFL contract. I guarantee you they believe that.
And something small I want to throw in before we take our first break. There is also some talk that the NFL is, they're the machine. They know how to make money over money over money.
Oh, yeah.
But now they're talking, the Sunday ticket is officially off of DirecTV. The Red Zone, all of it is directly... Finally, it is not a DirecTV at all, but the NFL is in talks with all 32 NFL teams to allow them to sell their own rights to preseason games. And I'm just bringing this up because this is something we've talked about for years.
Oh, yeah.
At one of these days, it's going to be one of those monopoly things where people don't have to buy the Red Zone. They don't have to buy this. Being a Dolphin fan in California, I can just pay the $120, $140 and get all the Dolphin games instead of having to pay, the $500-$600 for the Red Zone pack or the Sunday ticket package. But now they're kind of putting their feet in the water to kind of see if there is anybody that's going to bite but they are working on finalizing where every NFL team can sell their own rights for the preseason games to whatever streaming option they would like. And if that works, which
Well,
nobody's going to buy the preseason, but
no, but
it is coming.
it
I would
is an
say.
idea because they are planning on scrapping the preseason at some point, probably when they stretch the entire season into 18 games. And it would allow the NFL to dip their feet in the water with all of these different streaming platforms to see which one pulls the most viewership, and then they can focus on that one solely.
Yep.
Or even multiple if they just decide to do that.
And I mean, I go in halves with our buddy Scott down the hall for our Sunday ticket because he's a Seahawks fan. My Dolphin games are usually at 10, so it doesn't matter. I watch my Dolphin game and I turn on Red Zone.
Yeah, but
that's how I watch football. But some people don't want to, some people like the Red Zone because their team is a California team or they can catch all of them. But now you've seen over the last few years, there's games on Prime, there's games on Netflix, there's games on NBC, there's games on, and it's sprinkled all across. And I think, especially how the economy is, I know the NFL doesn't care about the regular person's wallet, but it would be nice to be able to be like, you know what? I don't need to watch all of the games. I just want to watch my Dolphin games.
I'm not going to lie. I love my Sunday morning Red Zone.
Me too.
That's how I really digest it. That's why I want a college version of it so bad. If you make a college version of Red Zone, oh my God, it would be amazing. You'd be able to see every college game in front of you. You would actually be able to follow multiple colleges. It would, oh my God, it'd be so amazing. But again, it's just me as a fan just gushing over it. I agree that this is a great step forward for fans who really just want to watch their team and don't care to really pay for everybody else's. But I fear that we are headed towards exactly what Mr. Bentley has been on this show and told us about, the entertainment reporter from KGET, and he's absolutely right. But this is also the first step towards pay-per-view football, and that might not be where fans. I understand that, but that might not be what fans are wanting. Like, this is the extreme part of the pendulum kind of going that way, and it's not going to stop because everybody loves the idea of a flat fee to watch their team. But when it comes down to now you have to pay for every single game, kind of like a UFC fight.
Yep. Just like Voodoo, you could buy a game here, you could buy a bundle.
Right, exactly. So I think the first couple of years you'll get that option of, oh yeah, you could buy a bundle, you could buy the whole season for this flat rate, or you could buy individual games for what, $20 a day.
And there's always going to be that issue where one game is a out of date game or a blackout game, and you're like, why am I paying for this?
Right.
I missed the old Sunday ticket. There's always going to be issues, but going back to, I've been a Sunday ticket customer since they started. With the guy from Bar Rescue came out and announced where it was and when it was starting, and having to call all the places and call Lamppost Pizza every Sunday. Where's my Dolphin game? Where's my Dolphin game? And now it's just the prices are up. Now with YouTube, you have to buy the YouTube package for the full year.
Yep.
After you get the Sunday tickets. I'm paying $90 for YouTube Plus for the rest of the year when I don't want it.
And
it's just stupid.
They do that on purpose,
Of course.
obviously. But that's also what I'm afraid of is because you said it yourself. There's going to be games that are going to be blacked out. Just because you buy the NFL pass does not mean that you're going to get access to the games on Amazon, the games on Netflix, and all the other apps. You're still going to have to buy those apps in order to watch those games as well. So what are you really buying? Because if your team is one of these teams that's on paper or on prime time all the time, you're going to have to own every single one of these apps. You have to. If you want to watch every game of your team, or go to Stream East and fear that you're going to get busted by the cops. But that's why I'm saying, like, although this is fans are sitting there saying, finally, we're going to get what we want. Don't think that the NFL is just going to stay there.
Yeah, the NFL is not going to lose money. No. At the end of the day, they are not going to cut any ties to lose money. That's just not what they do.
And that's what I'm afraid of, is that Mr. Bentley is right, and now we're going to be having to pay about $200 to watch the Super Bowl. Yeah, I don't think you guys are ready for that. We're not. So, again, I'm happy you guys are getting what you want, but also know that that's coming with a lot more from the league as well, just so they can siphon even more money out of you, just like Alec Bohm's parents are siphoning out of him. Let's take a break real quick. We'll get to some of these other stories on the other side. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk, 101 FM, 12:30 a.m. Sweet 16 got underway yesterday. Arizona rolled over Calipari and Arkansas. Illinois pulled off an upset like Sparky was hoping. And, of course, Purdue and
Dude,
Iowa.
I felt so bad for Texas, man.
Last second shots, man. You got to play
Jeez.
defense.
And they had no big guys in there.
Nope.
I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, they play okay. To give Purdue all the credit in the world here, though, they played it perfectly. They got the big man in foul trouble. Although I do agree with some of the pundits afterwards, he had 4 fouls. I think Chuck said it beautifully. What are you holding him out for?
Yeah, what are you holding for?
What,
What are you waiting for next year?
Exactly. What are you waiting for the next game? Like what's happening? Put him back in the game. It doesn't matter if he's got 4 fouls. Put him in there.
It was great basketball, though.
It was fantastic. That was the best game of the day, in my opinion. I was shocked that Houston got beat so badly by Illinois. I thought that was going to be a little bit closer.
And Iowa was just on fire, dude. Like, I got to watch
Nebraska,
the second half of that game. I was like, jeez.
Nebraska being up the whole game just to lose in the final minutes.
Yes.
I don't think there's more Nebraska things than that. I look, man.
And of
my
course,
family,
Arizona spanking.
My family's from Nebraska. And I got a lot of family members that are still in Nebraska that love the Cornhuskers. But even they could tell you, yeah, that's pretty on point. That's pretty much what we're used to at this point. We get pretty dang close, and then something happens where we fall flat on our face. But yeah, Arizona still looks like the runaway favorite, in my opinion. They absolutely trounced Calipari in Arkansas yesterday, even to the point where Calipari's boys were trying to take out some of the players on Arizona's team. But again, I just think that the overall talent, the way this team plays, the way they play together, and it's still the only number 1 seed. Actually, no, I can't say the only. Michigan has looked really, really good as well, but it is the only one that I can honestly say I've watched each of their games, and every single one of them, they've looked on point. They have
They're
not
tough to beat.
It is going to be fantastic.
That's why I'm looking forward to the other 4 games today, because kicking it off with the Duke game, which I believe they'll be playing here after Moneywise today. But what Duke team is going to show up?
Rick Pitino, I'm telling you right now, is going to pull off this upset.
I don't know, man.
I
think Duke's good for another game, but I don't think they have the power to get by these bigger teams.
That's possible, but they have the best player in the nation when it comes to Boozer, and it's still Duke. I mean, if there is any blue-collar program that is just known for winning, it's this one. And I said it yesterday. I don't know exactly where they got the statistic or where it came from, but every time they've won the national championship, they've gone through St. John's. So maybe this is once again one of those full circle moments from sports where we just see the same thing happen.
And I was looking at that game last night. I'm like, dude, Houston, I don't know, man. And I kept going back to our interview with Bolt. I'm like, no, he probably knows much more.
Right.
But when teams get hot, man, they get hot. And looking at these 4 games today, I mean, not really upsets, because they're all in the Sweet 16. But looking at the matchups, are you more worried that, a team like Michigan would drop to Alabama, or more of a UConn upset with Michigan State?
No, I think Michigan State is probably more likely than Alabama to take down Michigan. The biggest upset of the day, though, is going to be St. John's over Duke. I'm calling it right now.
Not going to happen.
Rick Pitino is going to pull this off. I called it on my bracket as well. It's exactly how I had it mapped out. There's something about this matchup that just makes me believe St. John's pulls it off this time. Maybe it's just the coaching aspect of it. He doesn't have to go against Coach K this time. And again, the first time Rick Pitino won a championship, who did he go through? So he knows what it takes to beat a blue-collar team like Duke.
I think Duke pulls it out. I do have Michigan State.
I got Michigan State over UConn as well. This is going to be the coaching battle of the year. Coach Izzo against Coach Hurley. Who's going to make it to the Elite Eight? I trust Izzo a little bit more than I trust Hurley, although I really shouldn't. Coach Hurley's the one that's won the championships, and this UConn team is led by three fantastic guards. So, I mean, when you really look at it on paper, UConn should run away with this matchup. I just believe Coach Izzo has something up his sleeve, and this team always comes to play every single time that he asks them to, and he is not going to do anything but ask them to just go hard-nosed Michigan State-style basketball. Pretty much bad boy Pistons, this UConn team. And the team is going to nut up, and which one's just going to run away. And then the other game that we haven't talked about, Iowa State and Tennessee. I love Iowa State. I love what I've seen from Iowa State. I have them going all the way to the 4. I'm shocked that Tennessee has made it this far. Not that they are not a good team. They're a 6 seed and deserve to be so. But Iowa State, I think, is going to have the offensive power to be able to just sprint away with this game. I think if there is one of these 4 matchups that might be a blowout, it might be Iowa State, Tennessee. But I'm probably wrong. They're probably all going to be incredibly close. and fantastic games to watch. I'm very excited to start this weekend with some fantastic basketball. And then the Elite Eight, obviously coming up in a couple days as well, is going to be so much fun to watch as we excitedly wait, I should say, for the national championship. I forgot what word I was.
There was a story that we didn't get to yesterday, and I wanted to bounce off you because I know we wouldn't get to it, but we've kind of hinted about it a couple months ago when the rule was pretty much a headline. But these NBA awards, and having to play a certain amount of games, and a lot of players are coming out not really favored with this new rule, which is 65 game rule. If you don't play the 65 games, then you don't get, the season awards, which obviously some of these awards really, it doesn't matter to a lot of these players. But obviously when it comes to the MVP ones, there's been some talks, whether it was ESPN, I heard Pat McAfee talking about it yesterday. But do you think personally that the 65 game rule should be something that they upheld?
I think so. That's a fair number. I mean, you can't be in for some of these awards.
So players like Cade Cunningham that had a hell of a year, but can't finish out the last, 20 games. It is.
It's unfortunate, but he wasn't going to win the MVP anyway.
Right. But there's other awards he was in.
Fair.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fair. Like most improved and all that. I get that. But at the same time, it's like you just said, I don't think there's a lot of really desire to win a lot of the other awards outside of maybe MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year,
unless they get some type of bonus. And
right.
That's really on you.
Yeah, exactly. But at the same time, when it comes to Cade's situation, that was a wild occurrence that I don't think anybody saw coming. So obviously, maybe we make that an exception. But in certain situations, Joel Embiid, LeBron, when you have a year filled with injury, we can't have you on the MVP voting when you only played 41 games.
Yeah, it goes back to all the All-Star voting.
Right. I think 65, especially with the season being as long as it is, 65 is a fair number. Now, when we shorten this season to either 65 games or maybe 70 games, then we could talk about lowering that number maybe down to 50, 55. But as of right now, with 82 games, I think you have to play 65. That's the only fair number that I can think of, that you played the majority of the season and your stats would at least live up to what they need to be compared to players that maybe played the whole season. You know what I mean? So yeah, there are certain situations that are unfortunate, but you have to let it go sometimes. That's just how sports go. You can't have an entire season of healthy play.
Yeah, some people's stats might look a little better when they played 20 games less than the other guy, but it was just something that I've kind of been holding on to because I was wondering if that is something that fans, I was going to ask Snacks, but really it's the MVP or nothing.
Yes.
Everything else, everyone is wanting, the finals MVP or whatever.
The all NBA teams are probably up there as well, but yeah, like the comeback player of the year, most improved, whatever. I don't think they're as coveted as people think they are. But again, I'm not in the league, so I couldn't necessarily tell you exactly what these guys want or what they don't want right now.
Yeah, when the conversation was brought up, it was more of the bonuses that players get. It always comes back.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that the bigger talking point right now in the NBA is how we're going to fix this whole tanking situation, which I know Adam Silver said 2 days ago. We have the audio too, but I don't know if did you have that up at all? I forgot to remind you, but we don't necessarily have to play it. Adam pretty much said after talking about the expansion situation that the owners are all very well aware that there is a problem with the tanking situation and that they will reconvene in May because they want to get something done before the draft. They do not want to wait until post-draft or anything like that. In fact, they want to figure it out before the lottery. But, here's what Commissioner Silver had to say about the situation real quick.
This is not a new issue in this league. You could go back to the 60s when coin tosses were used to determine who got the first pick, then into the 80s when a draft lottery was created. That lottery has been modified 4 times since then. Obviously, it does not seem to be operating optimally where we are now. This may be an unusual year because of a perception of such a deep draft. I'd say that's combined with the advent of advanced analytics in all the sports that teams are now making sort of, calculations in terms of opportunities and risks and rewards. And I understand where that incentive takes our teams. This meeting was not about pointing fingers at any team in particular. Again, I understand where the incentives are. We understand why it results in certain behavior. And I will say it seemed unanimous in the room that we needed to make a change, and we needed to make a change for next season. Exactly what that change is, we're continuing to work on. No votes were taken today. I think there's also unanimous agreement that we need to make this change in advance of the draft and free agency this year, so all the teams understand the rules of the road going into next year. That means we will most likely have a special board meeting in May, in which at that point we will vote on whatever modification we come up with.
So basically, we have to wait another 2 months or a month and a half, technically, for them to come up with a decision of how they're going to be combating the tanking situation. And to sit there and say, "Oh, this wasn't about pointing fingers," bringing up in general, you're pointing fingers.
Right. And at
league-
this perfect time of the year.
Yeah, and the league knows who you're talking about.
Yeah.
You've already fined them for it. A lot of money. Well, a lot for us, not really a lot for them, but a lot of money. Like, just come out and say it. Like, I appreciate that they're trying to figure out the tanking situation. I do. But I also think that this year is just one of those unique situations where it's such a deep draft where everybody was sitting there saying, it doesn't matter if we tank for number 1 or number 10, we're going to get somebody.
Yeah, we're going to get the guy we want.
So,
which is so weird because this is the time of the year where it's supposed to be the most entertaining time.
Right.
People fighting for the playoffs. And really the last couple of weeks, all we've been talking about is the in-player team drama with whether it's Giannis and Milwaukee. We've been talking about the tanking, and we've been talking about expansion. Nobody's talking about the playoffs right now.
The NBA is just having a really, really, really rough PR year. It really is. I think we have a promo that says that as well. But I cannot get over the fact that it just seems that everything bad that could potentially be happening in the NBA is happening this year. Like you said, we're not really talking about the exciting parts of the year. The Spurs are 22 of 24. They might even be better than that. That was of the other day. They were 22 of 24 last time I checked in their wins in the last 24 games. We aren't talking about Wemby. The Thunder have been absolutely dominant all year long. We're not talking about SGA. The Lakers have actually had a resurgence and could potentially make it out of the West, even though both of the other two teams I've been talking about are in that entire conference and probably run that conference. But we're not talking about Luka. No. We have to talk about the tanking situation. We have to talk about these teams that are just trying to find a star for themselves in this upcoming draft. Just give everybody what they want. Blow up the lottery. Let's figure out something that isn't rigged. And let's start this on the right, or start this going forward on the right foot. And just tell everybody, if you tank for the season, that's on you. But now there's going to be penalties. I don't know exactly what those penalties are going to be. We laid out a couple weeks ago that they were talking about, or at least changes to the draft and the lottery and all of that, like changing the percentages across the board and all of that. I don't know exactly what the ideal solution is, but realistically speaking, I hate for the NBA, because I am, much like you, Sparky, massive fan of the NBA and grew up a massive fan of the NBA. And I hate seeing that it's just being torn apart this year for all the, for it doing all the wrong things, to be completely honest.
Yeah, that's
'Cause I
something
can't
you
say
work
it's
out in the
unwarranted.
off season, first of all.
Right.
Second of all, this is not bad PR. And, it is just one of those things that's really annoying me, because when this time of the year is when obviously my team is already out. So I'm looking and seeing, okay, who's playing hot, who's not.
Right.
I'm not hearing about OKC. I'm not hearing about, Wemby. I'm always hearing nothing but negative. And the one positive is expansion. Well, that's something you talk about the offseason, man. It's almost playoff time.
And we aren't even sure how the expansion is going to look either, because
Exactly.
they're really doing is just saying, hey, we're going to start taking bids from people who want to be part of this expansion. And looking into the numbers for that, by the way, $7 to $10 billion per team. That's with a B. 7 to 10 billion per team. That is an incredible investment. But trust me, they'll make all of that back and then some, especially if those two teams end up in Seattle and Vegas like they want them to. But yeah, I agree. Like, just it has been a rough year for the NBA. I don't necessarily blame them for some of the player situations like Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. That happens every year. A star falls out with their team. I think that's just kind of part of it these days. I just fear more that this tanking situation is picking up more speed than it really needs to. I really do think that this year is just an outlier year. We all just see the incredible talent freshman wise that are coming in the next draft, and everybody wants to be a part of it or at least have their choice for their star. But again, it is a problem in the NBA. I'm not going to sit there and say it's not. We have teams that are throwing away wins when they're up by 15 to 20 and just benching everybody in the fourth quarter, so they end up losing the game. So that is a problem. But I just genuinely think that there's just an attitude problem in the NBA right now, whether it's from the players, whether it's from the front offices that are tanking, whether it's from the ownership or whatever. It doesn't matter. It is just a bad omen that's just over the NBA right now. And I hate everything about it. And they're still trying to save the WNBA. It's wild. Let's take a break. We'll get into some other stuff on the other side before we get our guests in here. There is a betting story that I wanted to bounce off you as well, my friend. They're saying that DraftKings and FanDuel are using addictive technology similar to Meta and YouTube to keep people betting and betting more and more money. We'll talk about that on the other side of the break. This is the Early Bird Special right here on KGEO Sports Talk. Welcome back. A couple minutes before we get to our guests of the day. Can't wait to talk to Chris Flail and Kyle Pittser. Wanted to bounce this Ted DiBiase story off them real quick because Ted DiBiase Jr. has been acquitted of all of his charges, all 13 of them happened earlier in the week. We'll get into that in a little bit. I wanted to bounce the story off you, my friend, real quick, because attorneys in Massachusetts are filing a new lawsuit against DraftKings and FanDuel, accusing them of using addictive technologies similar to social media platforms like Meta and YouTube to keep gamblers gambling. Essentially, they would target people, especially after losses, with things that they knew they would like through algorithms and all that type of stuff. Basic stuff that
Great marketing.
happens on internet all the time these days. And they are now suing him. The plaintiff is saying that he started gambling with small bets and then it escalated to bets to over $1.5 million in wagers and a loss of his job.
It's called addiction, fool.
That's exactly what I said. At some point, where do we kind of put down the line here and
Nobody
say it's
forced
on you?
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that the practices that they are putting out there are exactly, they're not upstanding citizens themselves. Let's just say that.
Well,
DraftKings and all these guys are just trying to make money off of you.
Those Jack Daniels commercials, man, I can't sue them because I'm an alcoholic because those commercials.
Exactly.
It's insane.
I get it. I do. But at what point do we really put down the foot and say, kid, that's on you? Like, figure out what addiction is, kind of learn how to not be addicted to something and walk away from the problem.
That's why they have disclaimers
At the bottom and say, hey, if you got a gambling problem, call this number. They're going to help you not give money to us anymore.
I mean, good for them. I mean, if they get any type of money out of it, but I don't think they have a fight with it.
Well, and this is all coming off of the tail of Meta and YouTube and a whole bunch of other social media platforms being sued and actually losing in court for being addictive, actually. So maybe there's going to be legs to this just solely because of that court case. They're going to sit there and say, well, social media got busted for it. Why shouldn't the gambling sites get busted for it?
Just something they'll lose a couple bucks and then they'll have to fix their disclaimer for next time.
Can't, man.
It's
I read that story yesterday and I knew me and you had the same thought process, which is at what point do we sit down and say, I am the problem? Not necessarily DraftKings or any kind of betting people in this generation. And I'm part of it. That's the problem. Y'all make me look bad. Let's take a break. We got to get a very funny Chris Flail in here first. We'll talk to him about all things wrestling and basketball, plus Kyle Pittser on the other side. Talk about Dionysus' 10-year anniversary. This is the Early Bird Special. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. Welcome back. Early bird special right here on KGEO Sports Talk, 101.1 FM, 1230 AM. And it's time to talk to our friend, Chris Flail. I almost called him Flailhausen, but we did that last week.
Yeah, we can do it. It's good. It's good to be back.
Don't start.
Missed you boys, and happy birthday to Sparky.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
I wanted him to be the one to say it. I didn't want to have to be the one to say it.
Oh, I'm doing it. Yeah, I get to throw the grenade and run away.
Just
Happy
another-
23rd birthday to Spark.
Woohoo!
Congratulations.
23rd. Yeah. Then I was
All those
Yeah.
tattoos and 23 years old, man. He started when he was 10.
my mom's like,
Oh.
should never let him get the first one.
I'm surprised that Dad hasn't tried to call the show since we called Dad. Which
He's texting right now. That's
oh,
what I
is he
was texting.
really? Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. Well, any plans for your birthday? I mean, what's going on?
Just dinner with the family. Probably. I'm just prepping for tomorrow because the big party is going to be at Dionysus tomorrow. So
Yeah.
I'm
Oh,
looking
nice.
forward to that.
Okay.
Yeah, but nothing. Once you get up to like the late 20s,
I
you
know.
know, it's just movie, dinner, and some family time.
I
It's
know
all
that's
good.
my birthday. I want to be left alone.
I think some puzzles and with the family. I think we're restarting the boys
Nice.
to get ready for the next season. But
Speaking,
nothing
that
big.
first episode of the new season of Daredevil was awesome.
dude, and have you seen Invincible?
No, I have not
oh
watched
my
any of
gosh,
it yet. Don't
the first
spoil
4
it for me.
episodes are awesome.
I'm very excited. I mean, this entire like stretch of time from here until probably about end of summer is all going to be nothing but superhero stuff. And actually, I saw the trailer for Mandalorian and Grogu for the first time too, and that actually looks really good too.
Mario comes out next week. I mean, there's a lot of things. Hail Mary. I think we're gonna try to see Hail Mary this weekend.
Donald
with Gosling.
I've
Donald
got
Glover.
nothing. I've got
You got
nothing.
nothing
I've
on
got
this
nothing
one?
to
You're
add
not a
on
movie
this.
guy?
Yeah. No, I
Do you like watching?
don't follow the superhero thing. I'm
Yeah, I
terrible.
could see
I'm
that.
terrible at things like that. Star Wars, Star Trek.
Yeah, I'm not
Dungeons and
into
Did
that.
you
Dragons.
play
I'm-
Mario when you were a kid?
I did play some Mario.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
I
you
did
go.
play some
What
Mario
was
Kart.
that?
Mario. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
from,
a lot
I'm from
of
the East
no,
Coast, guys. Mario.
I'm not gonna lie, I've heard that a lot in the last couple days.
Mario and
It's
Mario
me,
Kart.
Mario.
Yeah, that's the only thing that doesn't make sense to me. So you guys hear him say Mario, right? We all hear him say it.
Yeah,
right?
he says Mario, but listen to how he says everything else.
Everything
Why-
else.
I also don't say it's a me, Christopher.
No, that's-
And what is the new Broncos wide receiver, Christopher?
Mr. Jalen Waddle.
Oh, okay.
I said
Wa-
it.
You said
I
it
call
right.
him Waddle.
He
Waddle,
usually says
thank you.
Waddle. I'm like,
I
what?
say Waddle. I do love to call him
It's
Waddle.
me. It's a Mario.
Yeah, again,
Doesn't have the spin to it.
I'm just saying that one bugs me a little bit to my core as a gamer. And again, this is now twice I'm going down a gamer.
I was going to
diatribe
say,
today.
super cool episode, guys.
super chill episode.
Bring
Your
your
wife's
girlfriend to listen to this episode,
Yeah,
guys.
your
Come on,
fiance's
man.
texting like, "Why are you getting up for the show anymore?"
right? I'm just saying, man. It's like you hear him say his name. How do y'all?
By
say
the
it
way, I
differently?
heard and completely agree with your criticisms about modern NFL 2027.
What do you? Well, I mean,
Hmm.
what about the NBA? I mean, you think expansion and tanking is the time
I was
right
going to
now?
say, yeah, I was going to say 2 more teams for tanking, and with all the gambling scandals, it's great that they're opening. They're going to have a Vegas franchise.
Right.
I think that's going to be, like I said, absolutely fantastic. I think Terry Rozier should be their first draft pickup.
You know what's funny? The more I think about that, the more I think about what happened with the Super Size Me movie. Have you ever seen this?
I have seen that.
So right after the Super Size Me movie came out, or the entire study that he did, McDonald's made a huge apology for it, but then also created the McGriddle.
Well, and
This
also
is the NBA's version of that.
and by the way, how about this? The spice of life. We found about 2 years ago that it wasn't the Big Macs that were doing that to his liver. He was just a flaming alcoholic the whole time. Did you
Yeah.
know that?
Well,
No.
also, I mean, you would go down an entire spiral of depression eating nothing but McDonald's every day.
No, well, apparently information came out allegedly, because I don't read that closely, but apparently that guy who filmed it, Morgan Spurlock,
Yeah.
was a tremendous alcoholic.
Oh yeah, no.
And that scene when he was in the doctor's, and the doctor was kind of looking at him going, "Hey, if you keep this up, you're going to be done here in a couple
Wasn't
months."
talking about McDonald's.
He was not talking about the large French fries that Chad Johnson ate every day of the week
Wow.
before a professional
course
athlete
not.
career, but it made for a great movie.
Oh, absolutely. And I actually got a sequel too, if I'm not mistaken. I never watched the sequel, but
Yeah,
Did they really?
yeah, there's a second one. I just don't know if it's about McDonald's. I think it's about something completely different. Regardless, though,
Is it
off track.
is it a different guy that did the weed one?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't Super Size Me and then
there was super
High Me
Super
or
High Me?
something?
That's Doug Benson. He
Okay.
does
I
shows
love
at
that
the
guy.
Well. I think he's there in a couple weeks or something.
Is he
like
really?
Oh,
that.
really?
Okay, so story about Doug Benson, tremendous comedian. I got to open for him at the old location at the Well.
Mm-hmm.
He did the show. He's the only person I've ever seen do this. Everybody was there for him. He's been a national headliner for 20 years. He showed up and he's like, "Hey, I think I'm going to go out and start the show." He opened the show and did the opening remarks and then introduced, I think, me.
Nice.
And then I handed it off to, I want to say it was his feature. And then he just came back out and closed the show. Super casual. I've never seen anyone do that and want to like step on their mystique. And it
Yeah.
didn't affect the show at all. It was
That's
incredible.
awesome. Well, I've been on this rant this week, and it goes by, and it's something that I could bounce off you because you do social media as well as comedy.
Yes.
But I've seen, I've been in. I mean, we go to at least a comedy show or two a month, me and the wife, and I've seen just in the last 2 to 3 years a lot of these headline social media comedians.
Yep.
I don't know if it's a group or if I'm just picking on a couple that I've seen, but I'm seeing a lot of more of the social media tours with these comedians, and they'll come into town, and I talk to the people in crowd, they're all pumped. I've been following them for years, blah, 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 blah. And I'm wondering from the comedian side of it and social media, is that something where there is a big difference between a real comedian that practices and works on their craft, considering up against a social media star that can prep and do a couple of videos and then just ride these 5 or 6 jokes for a couple of years?
Yeah, well, that really is a problem. And I look at the two, especially now that I've started doing both. So, and I'm glad you guys asked, because sometimes I feel bad. I don't talk about comedy at all here. And I don't know if you guys want to talk about that more. So I'm glad you asked.
It's your half hour.
So I spent about 10 years doing nothing but stand up.
Yeah.
And during the pandemic, did a couple skits just because I couldn't get out and get on stage. And then I moved to Sacramento, I moved to Los Angeles, and I was sitting in the back of the Hollywood Improv, and we were at some open mic, and they're like, whoever has the best set can open the 10 o'clock show. And of that night, you can always argue subjectively, but I knew it was between either me or 3 other people. Like if you were going to give it to somebody, it was going to be one of us. And the person announced the winner is blah, who bombed. I was in the room. It was terrible. But that person had 25,000 Instagram followers and was on America's Got Talent. And I was in the back of the room and I went, I will never get on that stage until I either start washing dishes here, which I don't have time to do, or I build my own 25,000. I'm going to change whatever this is. I'm changing my path on it. And that's when I started doing this social media stuff. And so I've been in it a lot more the last 3 years. And really, I used to look at it that way, which is these social media people can't do. But I look at them mutually exclusively now. And the thing I always say is you cannot control who gets what I call the touch of God, as far as talent on stage, even talent on camera. So there are a lot of people who build a giant social media following, and they just don't have the chops. They don't have the goods of what it takes. And really good and great comedians can tell you this. There's probably 150 comedians in this town that at least I would know reliably. There's about 8 of them that I would take and put against any comedian in this country. You just don't know. 20 minutes for 20 minutes. There are 4 to 5 comedians here that I would put 45 minutes to 45 minutes against absolute. They just got the touch.
They got it, yeah.
Something came down from the heavens and gave them the touch. And they can be funny with 45 minutes of material, or they could be funny with absolutely nothing. Hold up a phone book and show me what the people in the front row look like, and they can do it. There are 132 comedians in this town, and a lot of them can be great at times, and some of them can be great in moments. I don't know if they will ever get that thing. And what the internet has done is opened up the highway to allow those people to get 200,000-300,000 followers, and they can really entertain people. But when you put them up there and you go, okay, you're going to sit in a room of 300 people that don't know who you are right now. Can you entertain them for an hour? Or you're going to do 30 minutes For a room full of people that came to see somebody else, can you still make them laugh right now? That's a whole different, it's not just a skill in set. There's something innate to it that I can't explain, but I know it when I see it. So I've seen some social media stars that can go in and just light it up. There was some Barstool guy that came to the well a year or two ago that I was rolling my eyes at because he was like 21 and it just seemed, and he lights out. But then I see a ton of these people that were on, some VH1 show and they've got 1 million followers and just nothing.
Yeah. And I mean, I've seen it over the years, whether it's, that was one of the main reasons when we started to bring up the early bird special to the radio side is, this is a huge comedy scene. And it wasn't just to, make people laugh, but was to put a spotlight on all the hard work these comedians do, whether it's an open mic on Monday, an open mic, they're driving down to LA on Wednesday and do. And it is just commitment. Yeah. And to see, I go out to support, our local comedians, and 99.9% of the time when I go, it's not for the headline. Yeah. Because usually I'm leaving with my wife laughing because I met a new comedian that just had me rolling from the start.
Well, and that's the shame in it, is that a lot of the economy of this is what puts the butts in seats. Who can draw, that's who does the show. And so these 8 to 10 guys that I'm telling you about in town that are incredible, or the 4 to 5 that are at 1.1 percenters in skill at this thing, they have to go out to these other towns and cities and beg the club managers to put them on. And they've got to do a 3-minute open mic audition 4.5 hours away and just do all these things so far beneath their skill stations because of what this has all evolved to. So it does make for a really difficult thing. And this is what makes me take my oars out of the water every 3 or 4 months and quit for 12 weeks at a time.
Well, that's why you're one of the gems, because not only have you grown with it, but you saw the problem, you saw the next steps. Me and Burdick work, together we've got 50 plus years in radio experience together, on top of the journalism that we both, took in college and school. And we saw, the Joe Rogans, the podcast, when the big podcast name came out, everyone's like, oh, radio's dead. Well, it's one of those things, you either adapt or you get rolled over.
Well, it's the same thing. I do your guys' show all the time. I listen to your guys' show all the time, and I listen to a lot of national shows, and I know the shows you guys are putting away. And so it does get frustrating to know that, but I would much rather do it our way, where you two have put 50 years of experience in getting actually good at the thing. Again, me and my colleagues and friends here spent a decade or more getting actual good at the real thing, because who knows if lightning's ever going to strike the bottle and we'll get our Hawk 2 a moment that gets us 2 million followers. But if it does, if something ever happens name one of those people, we're ready to go.
Right.
And I would much rather be that person than the person that gets 4 million followers on the lightning at a bottle moment, and I've got to go dance on stage for 20 minutes and build basically a parade to get myself through 90 minutes of what I'm actually there to do.
Well, and I think you said it well the other day. I think just everybody has an audience for themselves as well. So maybe it just doesn't fit the audience here sometimes. And I've seen a lot of comedians, especially big name comedians, come in, and I was assured that I was like, oh, these guys are gonna be great, and they get booed off stage.
That does happen. Well, and on any given night that can happen.
Yeah, exactly. And any given night, like Kevin Hart can show up and do an extra show like he's done here before. Like there's a whole bunch of things that could happen.
So that's the worst part about doing shows in town where you live, is because that night is around the corner at any given moment. And the people that give you a standing ovation could on a different night, it just didn't work or whatever. And then you see those people at Vaughn's on a Sunday and they go, ugh, how's that comedy thing going? You're like, I'm actually really good. I'm actually really good. I just painted my face and did this thing. Some people in Ohio liked it. Why can't you like it?
Other people like it. They say it.
Other people are saying it. People at Flappers are saying it.
Absolutely. Speaking of painting your face, you finally did your Danhausen video.
I did the Danhausen video. Yeah. I give that guy even more credit, because it is hard to have your face painted.
He colors the ears and everything.
It's cold and damp and wet. And Lexi wanted to do it on my lips and right under my eyes. And I was like, no, I am not trying to.
You draw the line.
I'm not going to rinse face paint off my lips for 4 hours in case this thing gets 155 views.
That's the funny. I've seen him with and without the makeup. Without the makeup, he talks about it all the time. He's like, dude, there's never a moment where I don't find a random piece of paint that I missed.
Oh yeah,
Like it's gotta be frustrating.
And he puts it in his hair too.
Yep.
I don't know if you notice, he does a large portion of his hair and his whole ear. I can imagine his ear canal just has face paint.
I just noticed that last week when I saw the video. I was like, man, he colors his whole ears, everything.
I noticed it in the bathroom while it was being done to me. I was like, oh, this is a whole other thing than I realized.
Hey, you know what's funny? We have yet to see this man actually wrestle. He has just been a marketing gem, which we also predicted would happen when he got signed to the company as a whole. But when this guy does inevitably wrestle, which might be coming sooner than people think, he's gonna show everybody he could do it.
He goes.
He's incredible.
I've never seen the guy wrestle, so
He goes.
If you want, look it up on YouTube. I think there's a couple of videos out there of his like indie days or his days early with AEW. But he can wrestle. He's a really good wrestler.
As long as they don't slow him down, I'd like to see them put him in there.
That's
with
what I'm
some,
concerned about,
You know,
too.
with some like Dragon Lee type, like get in there and go.
So it won't be Speed.
Well, I mean, no.
Because I saw the video this morning. Speed put out, it says this curse is for real.
That thing, I loved that video between the two of them last week.
They raced,
but at the same time, I'm like, I don't need everybody in on this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
By the
But they're
way-
just trying to peddle money. That's all they do. So,
Talking about Speed, how about our boy Logan Paul in flag football?
well, okay.
Held his own.
That's actually a bite I wanted to take, and I almost cut for today. But he did go to his social media too and apologize to everybody, essentially just throwing it back in everybody's face that he held his own in his opinion.
Yeah.
He did not. He was a defensive liability.
He sacked
was
Jalen Hurts.
awful. Yeah, he did. He sacked a couple people. He got to Jalen Hurts and he got to Tom Brady. I'll give him that.
No one's boxed in Jalen Hurts that badly since Kevin Patullo was the offensive coordinator.
That boy can't cover at all. He was a defensive liability. He was worse than Ryan Gosling and Remember the Titans.
I'll give you
It
that.
was awful.
But his rivals, Gronk hurt himself the first drive of the game.
He did.
Tore his hammy.
Or supposedly.
I'm not sure he essentially tore that. I agree with you.
I don't know.
think he wanted a way out.
I think he was seeing it and he was like, "Oh my god, I'm not in shape for this." But again, I don't know. I don't know his health. I hope he's okay. And
But I
he's not
also
seriously injured.
heard Tom Brady hurt his knee the night before the game. I heard he hurt it in the shower, and I don't know if you caught it. I was watching the pregame when Tom was taking it way too seriously.
Yes.
Again, you can't fake cool, and he's doing like this. I'm about to be and just to get mollywopped by people we've never heard of before. But he said to somebody like on hot mic, he said, I'm not gonna tear it, am I? I'm not gonna tear anything, am I? And I was like, what did he do? He hurt something. And then I heard afterwards that he had hurt himself in the shower the night before.
I don't think Tom. I mean, I keep hearing that Tom wants to play in this thing.
that
and
was
I'm
the.
like, no.
I mean that story that broke yesterday, talking about he's been talking with the NFL about coming out of retirement. They're like, no,
and they don't like that idea. Which, no, you're an owner now. You're not allowed to.
Well, it depends on what you want. If you want to make all the money in the world, Tom, keep doing what you're doing. But if you want the mystique of the greatest of all time, just go away a little bit more quietly, because the more you pop out on camera, the more you confirm what I've said, that pro athletes and you as the pinnacle are a goober, just a pure, he looked like Ace Ventura out there. Honestly, like taking it too seriously. The Botox thing, it's just too much.
With the NFL saying no to his return, I'm now believing more and more with the stories that Sparky was talking about. I believe on Monday that there is probably something in the cards for him to show up at WrestleMania. I still say he can't and won't take a bump.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think I'll leave that to Gronk.
And of course, the NFL's hesitation could be from the fact that he's a minority owner in one of the teams.
He's an owner, so you can't play.
And he's a commentator, and there's already some obscurity in whether that should be allowed.
Yes.
It's like, dude, we've had enough of you.
Yeah,
I never thought between you and Billy Boy that you'd be the annoying one.
Well, honestly, if I'm Goodell and he's asking for all this, I would say fine, but you have to drop the other two. You can no longer be a minority owner. You have to sell all of your stakes.
It turns out they really were the perfect pairing. Him, Bill Belichick, Robert Kraft, just incredibly talented, winning, insufferable people.
Yeah,
what a
absolutely.
tripartite.
Yes.
I still just don't know why he's even considering a return, though. It's like, dude, you don't need this. We don't need you on the Olympic team. I know you want to be part of it. Be the coach.
Yeah.
Be the coach. We clearly don't need any NFL players from what we saw last weekend.
Yeah, I agree.
So if he did, would he go to the Raiders?
That's the thing that I would think. I mean, why else would he want to come out of retirement other than to play for the team that he owns?
Yeah.
What
Move
is
over,
the-
Fernando.
Just
Hold
stay in the
this.
booth. You're great in the booth. We don't need to
What
see
was
any
Will
more.
Ferrell's character in Semi-Pro? What was his name?
Jackie Moon.
Jackie Moon. Yeah, this is just him trying to be Jackie Moon in real life.
It really is, but an ever younger, sandblasted, self-tanned, permanently surprised-looking Botox face. Like he is a 120-year-old, 29-year-old.
I just can't. Again, all the more power to him that he actually was able to throw a football still the same that he usually does.
He
But
did have some pop in that thing.
I can't see a return in the future, though. No.
Yeah.
You're already an owner, and like you said, and a commentator, and people on the internet can't get over that.
I suspect that's why Gronk faked the injury, by the way, is because Brady did go
I
out
don't know.
there.
I'm not gonna say he faked it, but I don't think that he really is as injured as it appears.
But Brady did go out there and rip that ball, and I think Gronk made a business decision of like he's gonna be putting me in this spot I had to dive 4.5 yards out of the end zone to catch this and flag football. I'm not doing this.
And he's just trying to do it to make sure that Logan Paul looked dumb. So, I mean,
I think that we see them at WrestleMania. I would be surprised if they do any movement on the mat. If anyone takes any bumps, I would expect Gronk. But really, going into WrestleMania, I mean, I know there's a couple spots still available. There's been some reports that we might hear tonight that it's Hell in a Cell with Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre.
Oh, wow.
Which isn't confirmed yet, but it's leaning on that. And the other one was, we haven't heard much, but Gunther.
Yeah, no match yet, right?
No.
By the
I
way,
don't think there's gonna be
another
one.
reason I love wrestling is did you say tonight or WrestleMania there will be a Hell in a Cell match between Fatu and Drew?
They're supposed to schedule it tonight is the news for WrestleMania.
Another reason I love wrestling is I guess I should get into superhero movies because I do love the suspension of disbelief where literally last Friday we watched them throw each other off a 22-foot building on what presumably was to concrete, and tonight they're gonna just do like, do they come out all bandaged up?
They have to.
Or do they literally come out
Well,
like
'cause
Nelly
Jacob-
with a Band-Aid under their eye?
one-
Like,
Jacob
oh yeah.
was at the opening day game too with the Usos. They all were at the baseball game. So
Yeah, exactly. Like they're gonna chew a couple of those blood placebo tablets or whatever. They're
I
like,
know
whatever,
you love those.
whatever Heyman and what like. So we've got Cody who still looks like he's still cutting
Yep.
himself
Oh, yeah.
the old school way, but we have had an influx of people chewing those sugar pills of like, whoa! It looked like my Danhausen paint that's
Yeah.
coming out of their mouth.
it gets so bad. That's why I'm saying, if you're gonna have blood, you have to show color. You have to at least cut yourself
That's
or
right.
something, or have something cut you. Because if it's fake, it's gonna be
Yeah,
noticed.
you got to mean it.
You really do, especially in this industry. But I mean, I agree. I think, not to cycle back to the Tom Brady thing, but maybe we do get an appearance from Tom Brady just solely to increase the popularity of this WrestleMania, because they have to make sure that this goes well, right?
That's true. They got to sell the tickets. But yeah, you're right. We have no match for Gunther. We have no clear match for EO yet. I mean, there's just so many people without a dance partner.
We
right
may
now.
not see either of them in a match, to be honest
That's
with you.
crazy.
Because unless they have a really crazy storyline they want to pivot to right now, I don't see anything alley-wise for them to really do,
I agree.
unless they do something, the Friday night before SmackDown.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, the
Before
Friday night SmackDown before WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But there's really no storyline that ties them to anything.
I can't believe that when, again, I understand it from the publicity standpoint, but you're working jelly roll angles. You're working I show speed angles.
Jelly's tonight
Okay.
against Kit.
Yes, that's going to be fun to watch. But if
Yeah.
we get a WrestleMania match out of this, I'm going to be incredibly
And again,
disappointed.
I admire his dedication, but he can't move in there. Like I get Jelly Roll can take a bump, but he literally can't lift his legs. Again,
I'm hoping we see something different tonight.
touch a god. Like Bad Bunny can get in there and go. I Show Speed can get in there and go. Jelly Roll seems more dedicated than both of them, but he can't go.
I'm hoping Evans gets a match at WrestleMania because
Yeah.
that kid is just shooting up.
I think there's so much talent that you could probably move the Andre Battle Royal to WrestleMania.
That
if
would
you
be
wanted
cool.
to.
Okay, so what if we do this? What if we shift Gunther from being the disgruntled guy that knocks everyone into retirement to being the bitter guy that comes after all the young ones and put him against Javon Evans?
I think you could do that at some point, but why do that right now, right before WrestleMania? You know what I mean?
Well, I'm just thinking you got to pair them up somehow. I
Fair.
don't know. Like you can't put Gunther against Brock. He's spoken for like anybody Gunther's gimmick would go towards.
Yeah,
It's
they backed
over.
themselves into a corner with Gunther again.
And I don't love like the Grayson Allen and all this stuff with Javon Evans. And I'm thinking like, how are you?
with Waller?
How can you pair? Yeah, how can you pair these people together and get some kind of thing out of it?
Well, there's two avenues that I could see happening with that storyline. One, we can inevitably get a heel Javon, which we haven't really seen yet. Even in his NXT days, like, yeah, he got angry, but he was never really a heel. He's more of like a golden baby face, the guy that just everybody just loves. But you could see a different angle with him on the New Day if they wanted to go that way. I also see the possibility of maybe him converting Kofi Kingston away from the New Day and
Yeah.
making him a face again.
Sure.
And then we get a new version of the New Day with Xavier going for somebody else, whether it's Grayson Waller or whoever he decides.
I just worry this is the precursor to him being trapped in the mid card. You know, like you got Trick that launched, you got Oba that launched. You know, when Saul comes up, she's going to launch. I just worry that this is how you start that path to where somehow he just ends up on the mid card and somehow just kind of get him in the tag of it. He just gets into that guy where you fit him in a piece somewhere.
Like they were almost getting with Penta. Luckily, they switched up real quick because if Penta wasn't going to get that title, they were kind of going in circles with him too.
They have kind of been fumbling a lot of these AEW guys.
They have. And my assumption, I've got nothing to support this, but my assumption was that happened with Penta because it seemed to me like he might not have been working very, very safe for the WWE in there. He had some issues with Braun Breaker. It looked like in ring, and he had a couple where it looked like he was working awfully stiff, and it seemed like they may have pressed him down to get.
He's cleaned it up
to work out those kinks.
In a way, too, though, they were planning for the Lucha Brothers to make it a rekindling on AAA for a moment before his brother got injured. So. Maybe the plan was originally that, and then that got shelved, and they said, well, great, now we can't really pivot backwards on that yet.
Yep.
But again, I don't know exactly what the plan was fully for him, but I'm glad to see him have a belt now, because you're right. If he wasn't going to get it a month or two ago, it was going to get really stale here pretty soon.
Yeah. By the way, Roman Reigns on Fallon last night. What do we still think he's taking that belt, Daddy, or what?
I sure do.
Yeah.
I think so. It's just the right time to do it.
Yeah, and he spent the majority of the interview talking about CM Punk too. He wasn't talking about Z-Bros or Street Fighter as much. I was like, ooh, I think they're setting this up for a run
that
here.
Street Fighter movie looks really good.
Yeah.
And I heard this morning EO is going to be have a scene or two in the new Spider-Man. There's a bunch of stuff going on, and I also saw the
Oh, my nerd mind's going. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Sorry, you put a big old.
We didn't mean to toss you back in there.
EO's guy as Silk would be so cool.
No, but before
which guy would you have play Super Mario? There's my question.
Chris Pratt, of course.
I mean, which WWE guy? Which WWE guy is Mario?
Oh Lord, I'm sorry. Go for it.
Well, before we go, I know you had a question with the Ted DiBiase.
Oh yeah.
This whole Ted DiBiase case. But did you see that he got acquitted of all the charges?
Walking free to the new house, the new boat.
I can't remember who put it in the chat. I think it was Tommy Gunn or somebody in our YouTube chat said that was their prediction of who
the phone
Randy
call
was on the phone with.
So this is true. As a man who, when I believe I was 13 years old at the Schuylkill Mall in Frankville, Pennsylvania, I was given the Birds and Bees speech by none other than Virgil, Ted DiBiase's henchman, and it was the most graphic, inappropriate description with lists in there that you could ever. It traumatized me and horrified me into the man that I am today. Happy to see anything good that happens for the DiBiase
family. Man. I love $1 Million Man.
I felt that this was really going to go a different direction for him, to be completely honest, because a lot of the proof was kind of pointing that way. Not to mention, I think everybody else that was connected to this entire $77 million scandal, welfare scandal, was pretty much going down for it.
Yeah.
But I guess they found something in this entire story, or maybe he agreed to something that gave him the acquittal.
Or the co-conspirators who flipped on him were just buffoons, and they couldn't pin anything. Can I tell you one of the biggest regrets of my life?
Was it biting somebody on the shoulder?
Virgil? No, it wasn't. It sure was not. Virgil at that mall, after he gave us the Birds and Bees speech, I could have gotten him to take a picture with me, my two brothers, and Santa Claus, but he wanted $65 for it.
What?
And I didn't have the money. But to I probably once a month when I talk to my older brother, one of us will go, man, we could have had a photo.
Right.
We could have had a photo of us and Virgil sitting on Santa Claus's lap. for only
That
65 bucks.
actually
For a low,
would
low
have
price.
been amazing to see.
That's my favorite belt, was the $1 million belt that he used
Oh,
to
yeah.
carry around.
Oh,
And
yeah.
without the $1 Million Man, there would be no Undertaker. So that was my thing growing up. I loved $1 Million Man, but everybody hated. And that was one of the most underrated intro theme songs.
Here's a question. A party is thrown.
I'm trying to think of the other ones that I would throw up on
A
that
party
list.
is thrown in Mississippi with misallocated welfare funds. It's Brett Favre and it's Ted DiBiase Jr. Whose party do you go to?
Oh God. I think I'd just keep my money and stay
Yeah.
home.
Keep my
I think I would just keep my
$65.
money. Yeah.
I think I'd
don't-
go to Ted's just for fear that Brett would text me a picture of the house, and I don't want any of those.
Yeah, I don't think we
Well, you got some
necessarily-
you got any shows coming up?
Yeah, Ridgecrest, this next one, April 4th on
Right on.
Saturday. I'm taking our lad Anthony Howdigi and my buddy Joe Allen.
Next
He's there.
Saturday.
Yeah,
Awesome.
next Saturday.
We'll
Very
see you
excited.
next week before it.
I'll be here Friday
Awesome.
before it.
Well, you have a good weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, boys. Always a pleasure.
Let's take a break real quick. We're talking to Kyle Pittser on the other side from Dionysus Brewing. This is the Early Bird Special. We'll be back in about 3 minutes.
had a feeling this was coming. Yeah, that is a very interesting topic, though. What is the most underrated WWE walkout song? That's a hard one. I don't know if I have one yet. I have to think on that. But this
You
is
can
the
go for years
I
and
know.
years.
I thought you could go as far back as you want to be honest. It's a preference thing, really. But this is the early bird special. Thank you to Chris Flail for coming in as he usually does on Fridays. We have to talk about Dionysus Brewing as they have their 10-year anniversary this weekend.
Yes, we do.
Kyle Pittser is here.
How we doing?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Nice seeing
Love
you
the
guys.
Diablo shirt, by the way.
Thank you.
Say it as a fellow millennial. I mean, I
Yeah.
many hours playing that game.
Many hours after school.
Dude, between that, Diablo 3, honestly, the new ones aren't that bad either. God, this is the third time I'm bringing up a video game. I'm sorry. No.
It's all right. I've been
Back on
playing
track.
Mafia
Have
the
you
last
really?
couple days, so
Yeah, well, see, it's a Friday. This is what maybe Friday should be just solely for video games or something. We'll go esport Fridays.
last weekend I picked up some. I always forget the name of the beer. I always get
Hanami or
Hanami. I start with the blonde, then I move on to the Hanami. But I always grab a 4-pack or 8-pack on my way out. And last weekend I was like, I want to play some video games, and Mafia 3 was there, so I just downloaded it and started
Dude,
getting
I'm telling
done.
you,
I never played that one, honestly.
the best investment as a gamer that I have made is in the PlayStation Plus network. Because if you buy like their $18 a month plan or whatever,
Yeah, the PlayStation Plus or whatever.
you get access to a whole just
Oh, catalog
essentially
of games.
catalog of like Netflix style stuff, and I love it. It's so good.
Best $50 I spent was to get an external drive, because those new PlayStation 5s, they don't have a lot of drive.
No,
So
they
you
do
get
not.
2 or 3 games and
And
you're
it
like,
fills it up.
"Dude,
Yeah,
I can't fit any more games."
that's how they get you. you know?
Yes, it's always something. $50 here, $50
delete
there.
I just delete it, and if I ever want to go back to it, I just search it again.
Some of those games are like 120 gigabyte downloads.
They
You're
are.
like, oh my god.
They are, especially Call of Duty and all these big name games. Like
Yeah.
it takes half of your
Like
system.
Grand
to
Theft
even
Auto,
download.
you're gonna need 2 PlayStations
Right,
to play it. You know.
right?
And that's just to play the first part of it.
Yeah.
But no, Dionysus, first of all, congratulations.
Yes.
10
Thank-
years.
thank
That's
you,
a
thank you.
huge feat, dude. And I know you and your wife and how hard you guys work. But a big celebration tomorrow starting at noon.
It's gonna be the weather. We just looked at the weather. It's 88 degrees.
perfect.
Honestly, our beer garden looks really good now. I've been putting in a lot of work the last few weeks on that, and I installed some misters too. So if
Love
it's
that.
too hot, just go out there. Hang
So
out.
is that a cross?
Yeah. So if you're like looking out of the tasting room, it's
Mhm.
like right across.
Okay.
So you can grab a beer, walk over there. We're gonna have a band out there. It's gonna be chill. We have a DJ set tomorrow. I honestly can't believe it's tomorrow already.
Right.
It's freaking out on that.
And we'll all be out there celebrating Sparky's birthday as well.
All
so come
kids,
buy him a beer.
kids are welcome as well.
Kids welcome. We got 2 food trucks, which is Side Slice and
Sweet.
Hopeton's Jamaican food, which is if you haven't had Jamaican food, you have to try it.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
I like to it, and then I get to mix the hot sauce from Dionysus. It's a
Mhm.
perfect match.
So in your 10 years, ballpark it, how many beers have you made?
Okay. Like batches or like
No, like different kinds.
I think I've done like 375 different beers.
Whew.
Wow.
Yeah, I like to think like there has to be some kind of capacity like where you just hit a wall, right?
Right.
But we haven't yet, so we just keep going.
I was going down that list. There's the Mexicali.
So that one we did with Mexicali, the restaurant that's
Right.
been around for 94 years. And they actually had a cooking class on Tuesday and got a keg of that and 4 cases of beer, I believe. And they blew through it in one day.
Nice.
Wow.
And so their customers are loving it. We haven't released it yet, but if you come by tonight, we'll pour you one.
Nice. We know where we're going, Ghostface.
Yeah. So we got the Mexican lager. We did an orange dreamsicle, which is a double milkshake IPA with orange and vanilla.
Mhm.
Something
What?
we haven't really done, but it sounded good on paper, so we did it. We have the Maple Darkness Descends, which is an imperial stout with maple and coffee beans.
And these are all beers,
beers, yeah.
not the slushies.
No, we're not even doing anything crazy with slushies, which
Okay.
is I know we're doing that, but
It's not hot enough for you.
yeah,
though.
I mean maybe it might be this weekend. We'll see.
you know,
We'll
that's
see.
true.
What's the other one? We got Little Miss Strawberry. So this one's been aging in oak for 3 years, untouched, undisturbed. We took it out, blended it with some fresh strawberry puree, and honestly, that one is insanely wild. And speaking of video games, we made a new IPA called Speranza for
That's what I was
anyone
going to ask.
anyone who plays Arc Raiders. That is the hub where all the arcs hang out. So I'm a big fan of that game, so we named it after the video game. And
Nice.
it's a new hop called Nectaron. Kind of new. It's like 2 years or 3 years old. But this is probably the best IPA I've ever made. So
Really?
Yeah, dude, I'm really stoked on it.
And then what was the strawberry?
Little Miss Strawberry.
Little
It's a
Miss
barrel aged
Strawberry.
sour. It's about 7%, so it's not
Ooh, a
too high.
strawberry sour. I've never had a strawberry one.
I'm telling you, it is.
I'm
it's
excited.
intense. It's intense too,
Dude,
'cause
my best friend's coming into town today from Slow too. Oh, I know exactly where we're going. Oh,
12 to 9, food, music.
food, music. Honestly, it's just gonna be good vibes.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not trying to do anything too crazy. We want everyone just to hang out. We got new glassware. I can't tell you
I
what
saw
what
that.
it says on there, but
Yeah, I'm
Um,
gonna have to give me one of those. But yeah, if you haven't been out to Dionysus, I mean, he just said it, man. It's not something that you have to go out and be like, oh, I've never been here. It is so chill and kick back. The vibes are always cool, and you can just kind of hang out, test some beers. You still doing the Friday night flights?
yeah, tonight $12 flights.
yeah.
Just try any 4 beer slushy, hard seltzers. We do have a prickly pear hard seltzer that is honestly to die for. Like, it's probably my favorite seltzer I've ever had.
Mm.
And I'm not big on seltzers, but you got to have them. People don't not everyone likes drinking beer, so having a seltzer option is pretty key.
yeah, absolutely.
Well,
And
I got a jersey for you that you can just have, because I am not gonna burn jerseys because I don't hate on my players like that.
Is
Who are
it
you
D
giving
Wade
up?
Chicago
But,
Bulls?
I've got a gray Jarvis Landry, or not Jarvis Landry, Jalen
Oh.
Waddle jersey
Oh,
just for you
Oh,
that you
yeah,
can
dude.
have.
He's like, I'm done with you.
I'm gonna miss the Penguin, but man, that one hurt. That one hurt. But
You know,
I'd much rather him in Denver than Buffalo or New England.
True.
So
I feel bad for what's the Malik Willis you guys got?
yeah,
He's like, oh yeah, I got Waddle signs. A couple days later, oh, he traded Waddle.
Yep.
Malik looked good last year, and I will expect, we'll probably bring in a veteran and probably draft a couple. I mean, that's what the path is.
just
But we've
saying.
got 41 players on 1-year deals, so it's really a
Wow.
prove it type thing while we clean up the Tua crap.
I will stay on this or in this camp, but AJ Brown is still out there and
No thanks.
available.
Yeah, what's up with? I know like the Broncos were, like trying to make a deal for him, but I think he's
Everybody
just-
was trying to make a deal for him. The
I
Rams
think
trying to make a deal
his
for him.
asking price is, I'm sure, way too high,
Yeah, oh, yeah, I'm sure. it
and
is.
he's not young at all.
Well, I think with the Max Crosby situation, though, it's kind of being proven that the asking prices will. But
The Ravens got lucky.
so if yeah, they did. But if
And the Dolphins got, a first, a third, and swapped fourths. I mean,
Right.
that's a solid pick for a guy that you're not going to have that ego issue with. He comes to work, and I saw that like a 3-page workout or worksheet that how much work the Broncos put in before they even talked about doing the trade.
Mhm.
And they went to, Surtain. They
Yep.
was his best friend in college, all the way to the point where he had talked, they reached out to his high school and college coaches just to
Wow.
see, what kind of personality this guy. And I will say, just as a big Waddle fan, you got a real one.
Yeah, I mean, as a fantasy player, I loved having Waddle on my team
Mhm.
because his yards after catch were amazing. So, and we need that. I mean, Cortland Sutton's dropping too many balls for me. I don't think he's that guy. He's not that X receiver, but
oh really, I love him.
I'm a hater. That is my
dude,
team.
he saved my fantasy football career.
Okay, so I'm
Or am I
telling
saying full
he
year,
is
not
too
career, I apologize.
inconsistent for me. He got kind of hot towards the end of the season last year, which I'm grateful for. But like the first 8 weeks, I'm like, dude, what are we doing with this guy? Like, he's not developing. He needs to be that AJ Brown type receiver, but he's not.
I don't think that's a fair comparison though, because you're
Just
putting
a
him
number
up against a
one.
genetic freak.
Yeah, I mean that's true. He's big and stronger, but
It's like he's not DK. If you're talking about like a DK
No,
Metcalf,
no.
okay, I agree. But no, that is a genetic freak you're trying to compare him to.
no, I maybe I'm just a hater, but I'm
Well, I don't think you're a hater. You have high expectations for this offense, and rightfully so when Sean Payton's the one running it.
Yeah, and Waddle I think is gonna elevate that team.
Yes.
Which is nice. Our running game's already good. We need a better tight end still, but overall, I think we still have to compete against some hard teams.
Right.
I mean, the Steelers look pretty good. They had a really good free agency, and I don't
They're
know.
still waiting on a quarterback.
Of course, he's gonna wait right before training camp.
Of course he
And
is.
show up probably, I would expect. And I mean, even with Denver, I mean, we heard news out of the Chiefs yesterday that Mahomes is already releasing videos that he's planting his feet and throwing the ball, and
They're still saying he won't be back though until at least week 5.
they say
I mean, that's pretty good still.
That, considering
yeah.
when he went down, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, that's great because
Right.
they got Justin Fields, right?
Yes. And that's why I was saying when we were talking about this a week or two ago, it's like all they need Justin to do is fill in for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
That's not really a hard thing to do when you're on an Andy Reid offense.
And it depends when their bye week. What say if their bye week is week 5, then it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's true.
sweet. Now you get an extra week.
And what's the best case scenario? That Justin does amazingly, and now you have a bona fide backup you can go to at any point in time, or trade away if somebody at the trade deadline is looking for a quarterback.
100%. And good for Justin Fields. He's getting tossed around, and people don't have faith in him, but I like him as a quarterback.
Right.
He's
I mean,
great.
worst case scenario, he goes out there and stinks it up like he was with the Jets, and then we all just love watching the Chiefs lose for 5 weeks.
As a Broncos fan, please go 0-5
Absolutely.
or
Yes,
0-4.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. And this, I said this the other day, I'd just get your thoughts on it, but is this the year you think that the Broncos and the Chargers need to make sure that the Chiefs stay down there?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest pressure has to be the Chargers, more so than the Broncos. Broncos are still young.
Because you guys have already proved it, though, that you can win the division.
Yeah, I mean, Bo Nix is still on his rookie contract, so there is a little bit of like a time crunch. Like, hey, we need to win now because his contract is going to suck up a lot of salary.
Absolutely.
But Justin Herbert, man, like playoff Justin, we need to see a better version of that. And
Yes.
I mean, and his O-line doesn't help, but if the Chargers O-line is even significantly better than last year, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
Chargers, Broncos and the Raiders are going to run that division soon too. They are building that team to be great.
And you guys really didn't make any moves at all in terms of bringing in new players outside of Jalen, because
We didn't do anything besides the Waddle trade.
Yeah.
at
Well,
all.
you re-signed a whole bunch of people and made sure everyone
Yeah,
stayed.
but
where they're supposed to.
externally, we didn't bring anyone in.
So how do you feel about that? I mean, the defense was obviously on track to being historic last year.
We were great last year. It really came down to Bo Nix getting hurt. I think we would have won the AFC Championship. I don't know about the Super Bowl, but
Does that concern you, though? Because, I mean, with everything Sean said, that the doctors were saying that it was inevitable this was going to happen, do you think that's going to be kind of the case every year?
nah, I think he'll be fine because I think it did happen and they repaired it, and I think it's over with now, which I'm like, okay, bad timing, but moving forward, hopefully that doesn't happen. But we needed him, and
I don't know, because they said this is
that was
a
the weirdest
condition.
injury, man.
and like it can happen again.
He's been dealing with, supposedly from what Sean Payton said, that the doctors told him is that he's been dealing with this since high school.
Oh wow.
But
it's just a weird injury, man.
Bo claims, again, this is all, I don't know exactly what Bo's health is, but Bo claims that's not true and that it was just something he dealt with like late in college that has been repaired and messed up again. But they're claiming that this could have gone back as far as high school.
Man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when I think of Denver, I'm thinking, okay, what's Peyton doing now that he's passed on the offensive play calling?
Right.
And how short of a leash is it going to be?
I mean, he needed to do that though.
Yeah.
His play calling was the same bubble screen every freaking play. I'm like, we
Mhm.
got to stop doing that.
Well, and again, this is more of, and maybe this is me being a Sean Payton hater, being a Falcons fan, but this is more of Sean just saying, fine, you're going to blame me? Here, kid, take this.
Yeah.
When we suck, I blame you.
And then I'm taking it back.
Exactly.
Y'all will appreciate me.
Well,
Exactly.
in those last couple of minutes we've got, wrestling is all over the place. Do you personally think Orton gets the title?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, no doubt.
Awesome.
No doubt. And
Is
I,
this
not just me
09
then.
Randy?
what's that?
Are we seeing 09 Randy again?
Oh yeah, 100%. He's listening to the voices in his head. like
I love it.
Yeah, me too. And honestly, Cody is like, he's becoming that like nice filler champion. No one really wants him to be the champion, but like, hey, we'll put the belt on you so we can elevate someone else,
Right.
even though it's Randy Orton, a legend. But I think they're gonna push Randy to get close to John Cena's record before he retires. You know,
That's what that pushed me over for me.
Yeah.
Is the numbers.
yeah, because I think he's what 3 away,
This would be 15 if he wins. This
And-
would be number 15.
and
for him.
Cena has what
So
17. Okay,
So he
yeah.
would need 3 more in order to actually break
Tie
Cena's
it.
record.
Oh no, I'm sorry, 3 more to tie it. You're
Yeah.
right, but after
Even
winning
just
you
tying
get
it,
3
I
more.
think would be cool because they're both from the same
That's a
era.
tall order, though.
Because he's not young.
No, exactly, and to do that in what, a 5-year span?
Yeah, I mean, he
At
could
least?
lose it at Backlash and get it back in
Yeah, you would have to do it somewhere like that. Hot potato. This
Some hot
thing.
Yeah,
potato,
exactly.
But that's the other thing I was going to bring up because we always talk about guys like Randy doing that because their numbers are already high up there. Is there a possibility you think that they want that for Cody at the end of his career? Because he's not exactly a spring chicken either. I know we all talk about him like he is, but he started back in those days
Hey, you
too.
don't talk
Yeah,
about Cody like
He
that.
probably only has
I
like
love
5
Cody. He's going to go for as long as he can.
Yeah.
But he's still much like Randy. He's
in his 40s. Yeah.
And who's on the phone with Orton?
I have not figured that out yet. Do you
No,
guys?
the last one I had to ask you before because I know we're running out of time.
I'm
But
telling you, whiskeys. I'm calling
Roman or Punk?
Roman.
All right. Are we going to see
Roman
The
over
Rock
Punk.
come out
So
afterwards?
we're going to see both of the major titles shift hands, you think?
Yeah, I mean, let's be real. You can't have Roman lose to CM Punk. You just can't do it.
No.
And obviously, we'll have
Please.
you in before then, but are we doing a WrestleMania watch party at Dionysus?
Yeah. Saturday and
nights?
Sunday. Oh yeah. Got to do
Fantastic.
it. Got to do it.
Well, you are the only place in town, I believe, that actually has the licensing to
That's right.
legally
Yeah.
actually show these. So again, I can't speak for other companies, but we know for sure he has it.
Yes,
So
we do.
The only one that I know of that actually has.
We got sound,
legally.
surround sound, big screens, all that.
Exactly. So
Food trucks, all sorts of beer. I mean, what else do you need? Come out tomorrow from noon to 9.
Go
Show
buy
out some
beer.
support.
go buy a bear for Sparky for his birthday.
Yeah.
He's 27 today.
You're going to have to carry me out.
Happy birthday.
Oh, Lord.
Thank
I
you,
think that's
sir.
the plan. I don't know if I'm going to have Flail do it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but
We
somebody's
will.
going to be carrying you.
We
out.
will definitely see you tomorrow. Pittser, I appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow, brother.
Appreciate it, guys.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for listening this week. We appreciate it. We'll be back on Monday, 7 to 9. Give you all the updates from the March Madness tournament and everything that goes on over the weekend. Hopefully this whole Alec Bohm situation will get fixed up and we won't have to be talking about siphoning money from children anymore. Until then, we will talk to you guys on Monday. Sparky, let's get out of here.